Welcome back. Dodgy officials from the Gauteng Health Department have been summoned to pay back money to the state. It amounts to just under 30 million rand and is in relation to PPE corruption in the province. The move comes as the Special Investigating Unit cracks down on malfeasance. Let's get more details now from SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago. So Kaizer, how many people have been summoned to pay back money and what positions do they hold?
Yes, we have summoned the payment back of about 30 million rand, but it is from all the people that are affected in the matter that we are dealing with, which is the Royal Baca matter. And that is why we have included now, which is the addition to what we've been dealing with, we have included the head of department at the present, but the other one was the CFO who has since resigned. And you need to understand that this is as a result of the fact that on the 6th we are going to court to go and present our case as to why those orders, including the one of stopping the pension of the CFO, need to be made permanent orders.
Yeah. So you mentioned Royal Baca, and of course the Health MEC is being probed by the ANC Integrity Committee about his role in whether or not there was unfair influence with regards to them getting this contract. Is the MEC at all being investigated in relation to this?
Everybody who is involved in this, we make sure that we get their side of the story. As you might know by now, we have already had the side of the story of the MEC and the wife and Ms. Diko and the husband. We have interviewed the former CFO. They have all of the people that are involved. But in this particular instance, the case that we are dealing with involves the companies that are involved and the CFO, the head of CFO of the department, the CFO, and the head of the SCM.
Yeah. So what happens now? You tell these people that they need to pay back the money, but do they ultimately get charged and end up in jail or not?
Yes, I always explain this, Shahan, to say we do not have a mandate as the SIU to follow people criminally. But what the Act says, that every time we find criminality when we do an investigation, we then rope in the NPA and give them the evidence. You will remember that at some point we mentioned that we have opened cases against 3 companies. Therefore, that process has already started. We've opened the cases, we've given the evidence to the NPA, and that criminal side will have its life on its own. Our worry is to have money at the end of the investigation, to have money that we can get somewhere. That is why it was important for us, one, to freeze the 40 companies that were publicized some time back, and the pension of the CFO, because she had already resigned at the time.
Yeah.
Therefore, the HOD is still in the employ of the department. We don't worry about his pension at the moment.
Yeah. So any new information on your investigations into PPE corruption in Gauteng and the rest of the country that we don't know of yet?
No, at the moment, we are still continuing with our investigations. We are now dealing with the companies that might not be, because most of the time everybody was focusing on one company, which was Royal Baca, together with the other company called Ledla. Those are just one, or in one contract. There are many others that we are still working on. What I can say to you now, that might be a little bit newer, is the fact that we have already communicated with the Gauteng government around the issues that relates to the head of department, and it is now up to them to decide what they want to do with that. And we have communicated to them that information purely because they are the employer, and in the issue of disciplinary hearings, which is one of the outcomes that we have, it will have to be handled between the employer and employee, in this case, Premier's office and the HOD as employer-employee in that regard. That has to still happen, whether they're going to decide whether they will suspend the person pending the investigation or not, as they have done with the head of the SCM.
Yeah, we actually need to get the Gauteng Premier to answer that question for us. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago.